welcome to the xsinick show. Yeah, I think I'm still dealing with like instability issues with my internet. And I don't know if it's, well, maybe I have too many devices on here. That could be a thing, you know, I don't know. But anyway, it's something I'm continuing to sort out, you know, in pursuit of making, you know, this channel pretty reliable and to have cool things that you guys look forward to. So the last time what we did, we were looking at different ways to make stone and stuff like that, and rocks, you know, for the level. Yeah, this music is really loud. Yeah, so hey, there you go, guys. So I just want to shout out all the people that have been checking out the stream offline. It's all good, you know. If they want to treat, you know, if you guys want to treat Twitch as YouTube, it's all good with me, you know. Either way, you know. So, but anyways, you know, I'll continue on, see who drops in, and see if I could like do that surprise I was talking about with whoever is in chat. So we'll see what's going on. Alright guys, so I'm gonna continue working on doing those rocks, and we might take it from there. And I was thinking, you know, when you think about doing rocks in 3D, immediately the first thing that comes to your mind when you do terrain and rocks is grass. You know, grass is a tricky thing, you know. There's many different ways you can do grass, you know, for real-time, what we call real-time graphics, which is, you know, game graphics. So with that said, let's jump right into it without further ado. You know, I want to shout out all the people who have been following me and checking me out. If you're a lurker, I want to shout you out. You know, big up to you. Don't be afraid to jump in here and talk with me. I mean, I think people think that if they talk with me, they distract me. Maybe so, maybe not. But the reason why I come on here is so that I could interact with people, you know, in a live way. Also, I'll just do YouTube videos, you know, and that kind of thing. But you know, and that's what I like Twitch for. It's kind of live and immediate, and it's a little more advanced than the YouTube streaming also. And then Twitch is for gamers also, right? So that's another good thing. But you have artists and many different other things on here. So in terms of what the platform originally sets out to do, you know, I think it's I love Twitch. I like what they're doing. I think maybe we could lessen down on the girls with their bodies and stuff, and maybe lessen down on that. You know, I don't think us guys and people in general need to. I mean, there's a lot of that out there. You know, I don't think Twitch is a place for that. That's my opinion, right? But of course, you know, free forms of expression is good, you know. But there's other platforms for other things. Anyways, with that said, let's continue working out some stuff. You know, by no means, you know, I'm not dissing anyone. I just putting that out there. I just think it's cool, but you know, we gotta give us, you know, artists, people, and there's musicians on here. There's so many different people and people who play video games. Gotta give them a chance to have the crowd also, you know. So, anyways, well, I'm ranting again. Let's just jump right into the 3D and the art and all that sort of stuff. Go. Okay, so I was looking at this code here, you know, because I have to work on some combat system stuff, because I mean that's the meat and potatoes, right? That's the heart of the game, is a combat system. I mean, if that's not, you know, if that's not enjoyable, then you know, then you kind of really don't have too much on your hands, you know. So that's a key part of it. I wouldn't say combat system is a top notch, but definitely high up there. Let's go through some of this stuff, but let's break away and let's dive into some Blender. You know, we love us some Blender, right? Let's do it. Now I'm going to close Godot so it doesn't tax the system. Okie dokie. Here we go. Okie dokie artichoke. Here we go. Okay, let's jump back inside of this rocks file. So what we're doing, we're creating these cool rocks. And I noticed, it seems like a lot of people was interested in this kind of stuff. You know what? I think I want to make a quick tutorial on how to make rocks right now. So this will be a tutorial section. Do we have a little tutorial message tag still here that I could use? Let me see. Oh yeah, there we go. So let's call this part tutorial. Oh, there we go. Yeah, right across my neck. That's great. Love it. Let's go. All right, tutorial. Let's do a tutorial. Okay, so there's many different ways you could do rocks in 3D. Let's go with a new scene. Let's go to new, general. Okay, so you have Blender here, right? And Blender would actually come with a bunch of things when you first start it up, right? It'll come with this cube. It'll come with a camera. Let's add the camera back in. All right, we got a camera in here. I'm just going to use my shortcuts here to move the camera back a bit. There you go. So that's kind of like how the camera initially starts in Blender. And then the next thing you have in Blender is a light. Right? That's what starts. Let's put a sun in here. Right? I think the light is not a sun. I think it's something else. I think it's like an Omni or something. Okay. So we're back to basics here. This when you download Blender from the website, you get this. When you install it on your computer, and then you get this cube, what we call the default cube in Blender, right? Which is really good, right? So there's many different things you can do with this. One of the cool things you can do with it is make rocks, right? You can make rocks in many different ways in Blender. You could do it procedurally using geometry nodes, which is very cool. A lot of people like to do that, but that might be above some people's heads, right? It's certainly above my head for now. I mean, I'm accustomed to using some procedural things, but I haven't dove in. I didn't dive into geometry nodes as of yet. Right, so that's something that I'm coming up to. Right, there's a lot of time-saving things in it also. Right, what I'm going to show you here is a quick way how to do rocks in Blender. Tutorial numero uno. So first of all, we have a default cube. Right, and select it, right, press tab to get into edit mode, select everything, and then press G and Z and 0 and 1. Oh, what's going on here? Do I have something? Grab Z. Oh, okay. 1. There you go. Grab Z and then 1. So that brings the box on the top of the floor like that, right? This grid floor. What is going on here? My keyboard shortcuts seem to be shift. Whoa, shift is like stuck. What? What's going on here? Okay. My shift is stuck. Let me see if I could fix it. Literally, my shift is stuck on my keyboard. Shift plus mouse wheel down. No, that's not what I'm pressing. What? Okay. Shift. I don't know what's going on. Like my shift is stuck. Okay, let's get out of here. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna start it back again. Man, we're gonna start this tutorial many times over. Okay, let's see if I get it back. Oh, shift is still. What? What is going on with my computer? Uh-oh. Is it like a sticky key or something like that that's happening here? Let me see. Oh, I could check it out with a notepad. Let's come here. Oh yeah, shift is stuck. Shift is stuck. Hold on guys, I have to unplug my keyboard, see if that'll help it. This is really strange stuff. What's going on here? Okay, let's see. Okay. My whole entire stream here is thwarted by a stuck shift key. Let's unplug my keyboard. I'm gonna plug it back in. There we go. Oh, seems like I got it back. Fixed it. Alright, so if you ever run into issues where like one of your keys seems stuck, unplug your keyboard, plug it back in. It could be just a glitch in the system. So let's quickly make back that scene real quick. You know, look, I wanted to start it where it looks like the default Blender from what, you know, other people could recognize when they start Blender. Because what happened with my Blender here is that I optimized it to look the way that I want it. My Blender might look a little bit different than yours, but it's generally the same. Okay, so we got back where we were without the fancy stuff. Man, life throws you curveballs, huh? Okay, so let's continue. Maybe I move this tutorial word out from my face, and that might work too. Slidey, slidey. There you go. All right. So the first thing, if you want to start making, I'll show you a tool that you could use, right? And the tool is called bisect. All right, so press tab to go into select your cube. Press tab to go into edit mode, right? And then what you do, you press the space bar to bring up the search menu, and you press bisect. You type bisect, sorry, B-I-S. B-I-S-C, yep, E-C-T, yep. Bisect. So now you're in the bisect mode, and what that is, according to your view, you could draw a line from one point to the next like this on your screen, right? And down here to your lower right, you have menus right by xsinick's head right here. Let me hide xsinick here for a minute. There you go. Okay, so right here you have options on the bisect, right? So what you could choose to go with clear outer, right? And it will instantly cut away that part of the cube. So you can imagine what you could do here, right? And notice how it's empty here. You want it to fill, right? So it makes a face back. Now you could use this to make a whole bunch of cuts and make a rock real quick, right? So I'll show you. Select bisect. So I'm pressing space bar to get bisect again. Oh, select everything. Space bar, bisect. See? And it even gives you a shadow, like a shadow thing to show you. So see, I'm gonna cut away this to make it look like a rock. And it could be anyhow you want it, right? This is a really nice, fast way. Oh, you always have to select all, bisect, yep. There you go. Press A again. Press A to select all, and hit space bar, you get the bisecting again, and do that. Right? You're starting to get like a cutaway here. I want to cut this away like so. I'm going to select all, press space bar, and I select the bisect in the menu here again. And I'll go the other way, cut the other way. Alright, so I got a little slant there. So you see our rock is coming along. I'm going to take a little chunk off the top here from my rock. You know, you could do your rock wherever you want it. So I'm press space bar. Right? Oh, make sure and select everything. Press A to select all the points. Right? Because we're in point mode right now. You can be in any mode to do this. Right? Press space bar to get a bisect. Because we typed it in once, you don't have to type it in again. Alright, let's do this. Let's grab like so. Let's rotate this here. Let's make a arbitrary cut here. So the cut is view dependent. Alright, and it's only in straight lines. Alright, this is starting to look kind of rock-like. Alright. And let's cut this way, and then we'll call that a rock. Oh, make sure and select. Make sure and select first. Oh, the other way around. Alright, let's cut lines like so. Alright, you can experiment with this technique in whichever way you like. I'm gonna do one more cut, guys. Do another cut like this. Do another cut like that. Yeah, so you could basically go around, just cutting this up in whatever way you think is cool and make a cool looking rock. Right. So for some purposes, this would be good enough as is, but we want to go onto the next level with this, right? The next level you could do with this rock, call this rock. All right, just name the name of it rock. Alright, so the next level you could go with this is to put it into sculpt. So you already have it selected. It looks nice and fine. Let's save this. Alright. I'm going to save this. And make sure and save it somewhere nice at this point in time. I'm going to save this and let's make a folder called rocks. Put this in here, and I'm going to name the file rock. Call this rocks tutorial. I'm gonna save it as a blend file. Okay, so we have our nice rock here, right? One way I realize that helps me with sculpting. We're about to jump into the sculpting mode. Is to come here to the top of your blender, right to the top here, and if you click that arrow that goes down, you'll realize that you have different options for viewport shading. So I'm gonna select backface culling so it doesn't show unnecessary polygons. You know, and that should be on by default, but they turned it off just to help people who are now starting. But if you're really doing modeling, you should have backface culling on, right? And then after turn cavity on, and you notice when you turn cavity on, it gives it a nice kind of like almost like a beveled edge look, right? So I'm gonna take this now as leave him as is, and let's subdivide him in order to bring him into the sculpting area. Right, so we're going to select this little wrench right here. It says modifiers, and then we're going to go click add modifier, and then go into subdivision. Subdivision surface right here, and then we want simple because we're not going to change the shape of it. When you go Catmull Clark, what it's doing there, it is doing smooth subdivision on it. right? Which is a Catmull-Clark like mathematical formula to smooth out forms and stuff. But anyways, so yeah, so we're gonna go with simple. We're gonna add like 2. Oh, just add 3. But if you want to know what it's doing, just click wireframe. And the wireframe doesn't show you because optimal display is on, but if you turn optimal display off, it'll actually show you how it's subdividing it. Or we can see that. So I'll say something like 4. One thing I learned with Blender, never go subdivision 6 above subdivision 6 because it slows Blender down for some reason. So this is fine for now to hold the shape. And you're gonna come here, right, in this little arrow up here, and click apply, and it would apply the modifier. I made a shortcut that converts my meshes converts the objects I select into meshes. And the shortcut I have is Control C, which invokes the object convert menu. So you see, I have Alt C for me, right? Anyways, let's go back into shaded mode. All right, so we have what we cut there, but now it's solid. It's made up of multiple polygons. We're gonna jump over into sculpting. Click the sculpting tab up here. All right, so now you can start sculpting your rock. One good way to do that is to use the scrape tool here and just start scraping away at the edges, at these beveled edges right here. Let's come here and make sure our battery sculpting is on. Turn the cavity on. Okay, so you see now when I do that, notice how it starts sculpting away, but the subdivisions is not nearly enough for Blender to sculpt this properly. So we're going to subdivide this a little bit more. So I'm going to do Control Z, right? And the way I'm going to do that is by remeshing it. All right, this is a very cool thing that Blender has. So if you zoom out this far and you press R, you'll see it comes up with this kind of plane right here. And if you move your mouse up and down, right, it will make the squares on the plane bigger and smaller. The smaller the squares mean more detail to the vox to when it remeshes it. So I'm gonna turn this down like about 0.3 or so, and press OK. And then you come up here to the top of the menu, the viewport, and click on remesh, and then click remesh again. And it totally remeshed. It made everything into evenly meshed object that you could start sculpting in. Now of course, if you want to see what it does, you press Z and select wireframe and it shows you. So I'm thinking I need a little bit more than that, right? You could still come here in this mode and you can still add another subdivision if you want, just to subdivide it just a little bit more for more detail. So I'm gonna come here, go subdivision surface. Right, we're going to simple, not Catmull. I'm gonna turn that up a little bit. And then we're gonna come here, I went up to 3. I'm gonna press apply. Right, so now look at that, it's so subdivided. It actually shaded the object, the color of the mesh. It looks like a blue stone or something, but it's not. It's just the wireframe color. So you might have black, but I changed my wireframe colors to blue. Anyway, so go back to shaded here. Go back to shaded mode. And now we have our sculpt tool. We selected scrape. And now if we scrape the edge, notice it's like a nice beveled edge. And that's a good way to start. Right? You can start that way. Keep it simple for yourself. Right? Right? You just run the brush, that brush, along the edge of the along the edges of the rock that you made. Right? Now if you're watching this after the fact and you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM send me a direct message here. You could send me, like, there's a suggestion box here on Twitch, right? And also I have Discord, right? Go to my Discord page and send me a direct message there. And ask me questions. Say, hey Nick, I was watching that rock tutorial and it looks fine, but I didn't like the way my rock looked. and and then I would try to see if I could help you, and especially if there's anything that I missed out. So what I'm doing, I'm just rubbing along the edges, really haphazardly. So sculpting really lends really nicely to organic shapes, right? But you can do hard surface stuff on here. You just have to be very careful, right? When you do hard surface stuff in here, and you gotta think ahead a little bit. Right? And I'm not going off the beaten path in terms of what I have to do, because I am working with rocks right now. So who knows? I'll actually probably use this guy in what it is we're doing. But I'm just showing you how I would start it, from scratch. And this is where the relaxation comes in, Move your cursor back and forth so that you can get more like brush strokes, and it kind of gives an unevenness to what it is you're doing, which gives it more of a feel of a rock. No, now that I'm working on rocks here, an idea comes to mind, or something that I read in the Bible comes to mind. I remember there's a part in the Bible where the Lord told Moses and those guys to make a sacrifice on him, and there was to use rocks to put the animal that they were sacrificing, onto the Lord for their sins, right? And the Lord said, make an altar of rocks, so that you can put your offerings on there, whatever offering. I think it was mostly animals, but he told them, do not don't try to chisel out the rock, because you would pollute it. That comes to mind when I'm doing this. Right now we're putting our tool to this, but look at me. I'm a regular human guy, in 3D here, sculpting something that's out there in the world. And to think that there's a being who probably would have sculpted those rocks the same way in whatever process. Like sometimes you see a rock chip away from a mountain or from a bigger piece or whatever it is. You don't know if that's the Lord himself making it look like that. And I bet you it probably is. Like he's probably so great, so intelligent, and so omnipresent, and so computer like that he could do even things like that, and have forces carve out the rock to be exactly the way that he wants it. Which is a kind of scary thought. That each rock is handmade by the creator. That's crazy. It's crazy cool when I say crazy. Anyways, yeah, things like that pop into my head. Also think about a rock. Jesus is also called a rock, and I think Peter is also the rock of the church, right? The apostle, the disciple Peter. See, upon this rock I'll build my church. The revelation that Peter had. Anyways, look at that, guys. That's good enough for like a single stone. What I'm saying? We're just rubbing it up. But I like to use some more stuff on here. So I've been using the clay strips tool a whole lot in Blender, so let's use some of that. Oop, that's a little heavy. I'm just gonna drop down the opacity and that, and just run that. Let's bring up. If you click on the side here, you'll see there's more options for tools. Right, I'm gonna pretend like all the pieces come out like that. And this is kind of like within the vein of the rocks that we've been trying to make. Oh yeah, if you guys hear music on here, that's kind of weird. It's not necessarily that, you know, I approve all the songs. It's just free music that I found that sounds somewhat okay, you know. So I haven't listened to all of them, which probably I should, you know, just to make sure that I don't have any kind of weird, creepy stuff in there. Okay, so it seems like now we have like this rock. And what would be a good idea if you're sculpting like rocks from scratch like this? You don't have to. You could, as I said before in the previous videos, you could go to like pixel mega scans. You could even scan rocks with your phone. You know, but there's applications that allow you to do that. But we're having fun here. Let's just say you want to do something specific. At least you would know how to do it, right? Right? Nothing wrong with knowing how to do it. Let's make this brush a little bit smaller. This is a weird song. I'm gonna skip that song. That's a weird song. Okay. Yeah, it's a little kind of weird. But that's what you get with free music. You get the weird, the weirder and the weirdest, which sometimes is cool, you know. Sometimes you get some cool weird music in there. All right, guys. So here I am. Right. A next futuristic feature of rocks is cracks, right? So let's see if we could do something like cracks. Now, there's different ways you could actually do that, you know. So there's a cell fracture in Blender. Oh, what's going on here? Okay. Yeah, there's actually a cell fracture in Blender that you could use that would fracture your object into many little like pieces, and that way you could get kind of like cracks. You know, you could get something that looks like cracks in your model. Now my shift is not working again. What's going on? Oh, come on. I'm gonna pull out my I'm gonna pull up the screencast keys just to see what's up. Go from one thing to the next. One minute it works, the next minute it's not. You could use the view, navigation view gizmo up there to rotate your objects in, you know, in sculpting and that kind of thing. Alright, so you notice I'm just making like little tiny strokes. You know, you just kind of want a little random. This is my way of doing it. It's definitely not the best way. And it's not the only way. You know, you could even invent your way, and you could come on here and tell me about it if you like. There's a procedural way. You could do it with nodes in Blender. But I'm doing it the artistic way, the old school way. Well, it's now the old school way. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's do the last part here. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so I think this is it. Let's run another thing on here. There was like a crease tool in here. what this tool has in it. Still hasn't gotten back my let me see. Let me look at something here for a keyboard. What's like? Oh, like all the keys on my keyboard is like dead. Are you kidding me? What is going on? Oh, my system needs to reboot. Something just updated. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so this is crease, right? Make that hard. Okay, there you go. That's I'm liking that already. So I can't. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to unplug the keyboard here for a minute, guys. Plug it back. Hopefully, I get it back. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's back. All right, so let's see. Okay, so this is my crease, right? Okay, so I'm gonna run some creases through here. Let's see. Okay, I pull the hardness down just a little bit. Let's turn the strength up. Let's turn off that. Yeah, look at that. Oh, I love that. Let's make it very thin. And we're gonna use this to just kind of run through for some cracks. All right. Not perfect, but that's what we're looking for. We're looking for not perfect. Okay, let's do some of that. Let's rotate here. Let's do a little bit of this. All right. I mean, there's a rhyme or reason to cracks. You know, cracks normally originate from like a certain point on any object. And again, you know, you can use cell fracture to get the same effect. I'm gonna carry this along here. Okay, let's say something like this. I'm not gonna go overboard with it, as I normally like to do. Righty. Now I'm gonna come back with a scrape. I want my hardness back up with a scrape. Yep, there we go. And I'm just scraping away. Right? Let's zoom out a little bit. About so.
Il n'y a point de fraude. Chaque objet se meut par sa propre volonté. Et ainsi se produit la plus prodigieuse des choses qui soit donnée à percevoir sur la terre comme dans l'univers. La sensation d'avoir pleinement mérité sa situation géographique invoque en chaque être la volonté d'un accomplissement ontologique. Car l'honneur que la création nous renvoie se répercute sur une population plus globale. Il est donc urgent de développer la réflexion paramétaphorique.
Turn the strength down on this. Okay, that's a lot better. Oops. So we're almost done with this guy here. Yeah, so this is a little fun exercise to be relaxed. You know, you're not forced to like to do like a face or anything with structure. You know, you just want to focus on a few key things. You know, one of the things like I think about is big and small details. So which details should be big, which details should be small. Notice when I'm rubbing this this tool over it, how it looks like as if like the cracks are getting less. Which is kind of what you want. Okay, so it's almost like we made our own little chaos right here. Try to see if we can get some flat faces happening. Just a little bit like that. One thing I learned like over the years of like doing like little production work, like 3D production work and stuff, is that whenever like right now my keyboard is like disappearing on me, like it's not usable right right now. So I don't know what's going on there. But I've learned that, you know, you always try to look for a solution, you know, whenever you're doing the kind of work. You don't throw your hands up and like be like, okay, well, it's not working, I'm done. You know, you always try to find a solution to get through the day and to even get what you need working, whatever that solution might be. You know, you gotta come up with a creative solution. Most things. I guess that kind of goes with life a little bit. Okay, liking that. Try to even out here. Okay, do this. Okay, let's fix some top. Let's fix here a bit. Okay, so what's going on here is that because this is not voxels, right? So what happens with meshes is that all the triangles get squished into one area, and then some triangles get stretched away into other areas, and you gotta even it out. And the cool way to do that in Blender is by remeshing. Love that remesher feature that they add there. You know, so you can even everything back out. So I think so far this rock is looking pretty snazzy. Let's rotate on him as best as we could. I lost my keyboard, but yep. Not understanding why though, but for some reason it keeps going. Another thing is OBS keep going in and out, so there's some issues happening. Alright, so we got our funky rock right here. Let's make this one area. Let's try to make a flat face somewhere around here. So it's a little too busy. Come over here and let's wedge this side up here. Wedgie that up. Okay, yeah, so we got something like this, and I think for our rocks we added like a texture to the draw brush, you know. And the way you do that, let's save here. So we'll save. Let's choose a funky little color because gray is boring, right? I got blue. Look at this, it's a nice blue stone. I like that. Let's stick with this blue for now. And I'm using different matte caps that I personally, you know, kind of got over time there. Get rid of some of these kind of things that look as if like, okay, yeah, so we got this going on here. Let's get a brush with a nice little texture on that. Here, and let's go into brush settings. We're looking for, okay, so we got the draw brush selected. We're going to add a texture to this. So we're going to brush settings, texture, so new texture, click on that, and there's a little icon here to get the properties, and the properties will show up on the side here. After you click on this icon right here, I can zoom into that. Real quick. Actually, I can't because my keyboard is out. Okay, let's press open, and I'm gonna go to where I have a bunch of different textures in my texture library. It's a folder full of textures. You know, you could do that. And texture brushes. I believe I was using this one. Look, I even have ones like this. Let's use something different. Let's use one of these one of these ones right here. I'm gonna use that one there with little cracks in there. And there's only crack to one side. So if I go F, well, I can't even go F. If I scale it, it's a strength, radius. I'm gonna unplug my keyboard yet again and plug it back in to see what's up. Hoping at this point my keyboard doesn't have a short in it. I don't think so. Okay. Oh, shift seems stuck. Yeah, so something's going on with my keyboard here. Just gonna see if I could remedy that real quick, guys. Try it this way. Okay, I seem to remedy that. Yeah, here we go. And you see our brush shows when we scale it, it kind of shows the texture a little bit. See if I apply it to see what happens there. But we want it to apply in a different way. We want to come here and instead of tiled, what we want is a view plane. Okay, let's undo that. Let's try a different one. Yeah, view plane, area plane. So area is still kind of tiled. We definitely want view plane. Let's go view plane. So now, if we lay down that there, you know, we got the stencil. What's going on here? Let's try a different brush. Let's try this one here, grunge map. Lovely. I'm gonna use view plane. Boom, you see that? Add like, immediately adds like texture on this. I'm gonna zoom out a bit. Bit. Wow, see that really adds it, right? Let's take it away a little bit. And I'm going to turn the strength down a bit. Yeah, look at that. Really adds some really nice high resolution textures. You know. And it's actually stamping it into the actual mesh. Bit. Probably could have gone even less less strength. Right, you'll see a little bit of stretching only because of that it has to remesh. You know, as I said before there. Okay, so we just added this stamp all the way across. Let's look for that fill tool. I think this is a fill tool. Let's see what that fill tool does with something like this. Oh yeah, it does really nice. So I'm gonna, oh, it's a little too big. Let's make it a little smaller. So running this through. Yeah, almost polishing the rock back up. Just make it a little bit smaller. A little bit more hardness to it. Oh man, look at it. It's a little clumsy there. Alright, so yes, fill tool is very clumsy. Now if you're working in Blender like I've done like recently there, and I kinda like, you know, I wasn't impressed by how some of the brushes behave. The thing about it is that you gotta go into it and you gotta tweak the settings. So go through with your brushes with something like this and tweak the settings as you know, as you see fit. And of course you could do a rock however you would like. There's many tutorials online there too from other people. You know, I'm just doing it the way that you know, that I think is cool and is fun. You know, and that I've learned, you know, some years back. Okay, so I'm gonna run that okay, so yeah, so this is good and beat up, right? So let's run that remesh on it. Let's press R again. Oh, I had the wrong tool. Press R. Let's make it a little, that's too fine. Let's go like about 2. And then we're gonna remesh it. Remesh. Control Z, so let's make it a little more a little finer than that. Let's remesh. Press R. Let's go 1 on that. Remesh. Okay, just made it smooth, guys. So that's kind of what we got right here. Let's go back into sculpting. You know, that's fine. You know, we could, you know, you do whatever ways that you wanna, you know, you wanna do it, that kind of thing. Get this a little bit of enhance. Alright guys, so that's all stone. What do we do from here? Well, what you could do from here is to actually make a material that that could showcase, you know, the stone itself. I think that last brush I did took away some of the detail, but it's all good. Okay, let's put a plane down. I'm gonna put a plane down just so we can have a little bit of a stage. I'm gonna go over here into shading. Alright, here we are into shading. And you want to turn your shading, your renderer from Eevee to cycles. Alright, I'm gonna go cycles GPU. Don't want any denoising. I could turn down the samples to 64. Oh, we could denoise it later. Okay, that's fine. In performance, I have it to auto detect, but instead of going my full 20, cores, I'm gonna only give it 18. I'll save 2 cores back for myself. Then we select the rock and hit new, and this is a new material for the rock. So now when you come up here and you hit the render into viewport for cycles, you see what cycles gives you. So this is what cycles give me off the bat. I'm gonna delete this. Actually, let's turn that into the sun. So I'm gonna select that light, go into the light, click on sun. Now it's like the sun is in here. I'm gonna angle the sun off so we get a little bit of angle on here. Hopefully we choose, let's angle it the other way, it's a little more interesting. Oh, not even. Let's go back. Something like so. That's pretty interesting. Alright, this is all stone right there. Okay. So now that we have this, you have to test out the lighting, because everything in Blender is to do with lighting, right? So I'm gonna come here in the world environment. I'm going to click color and choose sky texture and give it a sky texture. I'm going to tell the sky, so no, the sky has its own sun and everything, so we kind of technically don't need our sun. So let's get rid of that for now. Let's just use the sky sun. And we want it a little bit overhead. So we're going to go sun elevation. Let's go 60 degrees. That's fine. Let's turn the strength of the environment lighting to 0.1. Let's turn the sun strength to 0 just to see how much so this is how it should look at night, you know, this is still pretty lit, you know, so let's turn that down to 0.05. Still pretty lit for night, but that's fine. Let's turn the sun up to 0.5, see what that looks like. Alright, we want it to, let's turn it up a little bit more, let's go 1 and see. 1 is fine. Alright, that's really blowing out, you know, like all the details and stuff. So we have this selected, we made a new material called the material rock, right? And immediately if you want to start calling out details, you could use a couple things, right? So one of the things we use to call it, let's change the plane, just add a material for that plane, and let's make that a bit dark so we could have a base that's not too blinding, right? So I'm gonna choose a color for it. I'm gonna go kind of dark. Turn the roughness up on that. Right? Okay, now we have our rock selected. Okay, let's start adding materials to this to try to make it more rock-like. And this is how I think about it. So right here, we're in the shading tab. I'm gonna add let's just make a color for it. Just instead of pure white, let's pull it down a bit. Let's give it like a little bit of a gray. Right. Now see, as we give it a gray, you can see more of the details showing, and that's kind of what you want. The roughness spreads out the specularity, so if we turn the roughness down, you're going to get more shiny parts on the edge of it. So you want just a little bit of that, leave the specularity at that. Okay, so one tool you could use to call out details is pointiness, right? So if we go to if we go get the pointiness node in here, which is really in the geometry. Let's go input geometry node here, and it has a pointiness feature. And then what we want a ramp color node, color ramp. Select that, plug the pointiness part into the factor, and then plug the color part into our base color here. Now when we bring the blacks up like this, right, you notice that it's starting to show more the detail of the rock. Now let's bring the whites closer to the black, right? So this, look at that, there's a lot more contrast to our rock. Right, so using this pointiness map now, we could use all kinds of things to color this rock up. And this is how I was able to do the rock before. Let's take a look here. Okay, let's run that remesh on this one more time. This kind of even out everything. So I'm gonna go here into sculpt again. So we have our rock here in sculpt, ready and waiting. And I'm gonna press R to bring up that grid. So I'm pulling it up and down. So these little squares represents the resolution. So I'll say okay, that's fine, and I'm gonna do remesh on it again. Right. So it just evened out all the little funky things, and it even brought a little bit more detail back into the model. So let's go back into our shading tab here. Okay. Ideally, you want like when you're doing things like pointiness and that kind of thing, you might want to play with how contrasty this part is. Okay, so let's instead of going pure black, let's bring this out of black a little bit, and we can leave pure white. Pure white is always good. All right, so let's start to mix this with a color, right? So let's come here, color, mix color, right? And you could plug this here into the factor of whatever color you want, and then plug this back here. So right now we have both things as white. So I'm gonna make one color. I'm gonna make that like, that's like the base right there. Let's go with a rock color. Let's go a little bit towards orange, come back into like a brown like this. Go out more, let's make it a little more gray. Like so, and then let's choose a funky color like a blue or something. Alright, so no, this is where you get to see how much of what do you want in here. You could even take this again, this color ramp again, and duplicate it. Come back here. And you could plug this into another color right here. Put that like in B. That's what it has. And you could widen, the colors in here. And it's being, the brown is being mixed over the white. You could change to a different color. So you could do something like that. Like this might I think something like this works. That's my preference though. Let's go with more stone colors. So we're going like more into the blues and blacks and that kind of thing. So brown. Let's go a little more into like a grayish. Alright, and you can even use the pointiness here to control things like the roughness. Right. Let's duplicate this here. Or you could just invert, drop an invert node. Let's do that. Invert. For the roughness, you want it to be the inverse of, you know, like what we're trying to get with the pointiness. So we're telling the parts that are flat to be rougher and the parts that are bulgy to be shinier. Invert that and then plug that into the roughness. And you see, like, look at that. It's already starting to look kind of like a rock. See, and you can control the amount of roughness it has. If you want to take a look at what that's doing, just plug it into here. I think maybe it's better controlled, you know, like it's not really coming through that well, so I think it's probably better controlled with another ramp. So I'm just gonna duplicate this ramp. Alright, let's get rid of the invert. Good idea, but it's not coming through that well. So I'm gonna invert this by swapping the colors around. Alright. So the parts that are black is shiny, like so, and the parts that are white is not so shiny. That a little bit more like that. Right, so that's our roughness map. Put that into roughness. Yeah, you can see it's starting to work already. Let's plug this back into our color. Let's try to see if we can get kind of like a slate black going on. Yeah, so this rock to me, this rock looks fine the way that it is. You know, there's so many other things you can do here. There's overall specularity on that. You know, all this is said that 0.5 should be the thing that works, but you could play with whatever you think works for you and what it is that you gotta do. That's my philosophy in the end. I'm gonna go 0.3 on that. Okay. I'm gonna add a little bit of metallicness. And that just introduces the environment color a little bit into it. Okay, so yeah, that's how you do a rock in Blender, you know. There's many other things you can do that will make it look even more realistic and you know, even better than what it already is. Like one of the other things you can do is to add some noise to this. So let's try a little bit of noise and then we'll call that a tutorial. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna make a noise material. Right, and what we want is a vernal noise, right? And we need to get the coordinates. Let's plug it in to the color part to see what we're getting. You can plug it straight into the surface part here, and this is what you get. Let's keep it 3D. Euclidean. What other kind of noise do we have? Noise. What is our? Yeah, let's check out the regular noise texture. I'm probably getting a little too fancy with it here, guys. Yeah, I think I like that better. Okay, so let's see here. Play the scale. Alright, and this is to bring some variation into the rock. I think a scale like this is fine. The detail should be one level up. Let's go 3. Yeah, this is a roughness. We don't want this. We want it a little bit rough. Alright, and let's add like another ramp to this. So we can control like how much black goes where and how much white goes where. Alright, so something like this is kind of cool. Alright. As a matter of fact, there's a procedural way you could literally make rocks using, you know, the ramp. So linear, let's go ease just to soften it up a bit. Give this turn the roughness up just a little bit. This is me scaling it. Oh, doesn't that look pretty fancy? Let's add a little more detail in there as we scale it up. I think this looks fine. A little cow pattern roughness, right? And let's just leave this as is for now. And I'm gonna add it to the bump. Let's try to get some normal map happening off of this. So I'm gonna go here into vector map. Let's see bump map. Bump map likes black and white, and that's what we have. We have black and white here. All right. I'm gonna plug that into height. All right. And then we're gonna plug this here into the normals of the material, and let's plug the material back in. Right? Ooh, look at that. It's really strong. Look at that. Look what it did. It's like completely destroying our rock, but if you know it's working, I'm gonna unplug everything else, all the roughness and all the other fancy bits. Alright? And we're gonna control the strength through here. You can control the strength in different ways by tuning the black and white, but let's just do it through the strength part here and see what we get. Okay, so this was at 1. Let's try distance. Yeah, distance is doing a better job at holding on to the initial scale of everything. It's kind of, this is good, but it kind of dwindles away the, let's unplug it, look at it, plug it back in. We just want to see the difference. Okay, let's try changing the color of these things here. So instead of going pure black, let's go a little bit of that. Let's bring this a little bit away from pure white. I like what distance is doing. So let's do 0.05 on that. Yeah, so okay, that's what distance does. It keeps the thing, but it's, let's go minus. I think it should be indented. Minus. Give it like a little bit of an indented feel. I like that. Let's put this back at 0.1. Yeah, look at that. I think this works. It even adds even more detail to what we were already doing. Okay, now we could plug back all the stuff that we were using before. Let's plug back in the color, the base color. Alright, and let's plug back in the roughness. That roughness when you land somewhere, and our rock is like crazy, has crazy stuff on it, right? I mean, that's a rock for the ages there. And save. Of course, you could change the rock to any color you like. We're gonna keep it like this. You could probably even drop a touch of brown in there if you like. It looks kind of like more dirt, or you could go more blue. So it looks a little, there's a little more iron in there. Color, let's change this color from this blue. Pull it away from blue a little bit. Let's go pure white on that. Okay. A little bit more white in it. Yep. Liking it. Another thing you can add to is you could add an ambient occlusion node to this also. Right? You could add ambient occlusion. So and you could actually add another shader on top of this, which could act as like another layer of dirt on top of it. And I think that's what I did. I layered my shaders, and I'll show you how to do that. And before you know it, your shaders could look complex, but it's all working. So what you do, right, in order to do that, let's come with this another pointiness. We're gonna keep the same pointiness, right? And we're gonna come with this with this ramp. Let's duplicate this color ramp. Let's put it back down to 0 like so. And let's pull the same pointiness in the factor. And let's drop this color straight inside of the shader part here. Alright, so now when we bring it in, you can actually see the pointiness is working its way out, working its way. Let's see what the ambient occlusion shader does. inside. So we only want to do the inside parts. I'm gonna flip that. Okay, so what I'm doing here is that these parts that are white is gonna have dirt in it. Using the shader. So it's kind of like you want to make like black and white maps almost when you're doing this stuff. Something like that. Alright, so all these parts are going to have some dirt in there. Let's just go a little bit less. The white is the dirt and the black is would have the stone in it. Would have the pure stone in it. Okay, let's go pure black. Let's make sure it's pure black. Okay. Just like that. Make sure it's pure white. Okay. Alright, so yeah, I like what this ambient occlusion is doing. Let's just stick with that. And this is going to be the factor for the other material. So we're going to make a new material. Let's plug it directly in here. Right? And we want to make this material very matte like dirt for now. The only thing you got to think about is what color dirt you want to do. So for me, I'm gonna do like a kind of brown, just so it stands out a little bit. Something like so. Yeah, like that. Right? So that's all dirt. Now you don't need to use a full principal shader to do this. You could actually get a diffuse shader. So let's do that. Shader, diffuse, right? And let's drag and drop our brown color in there. Let's plug it in. See what we get. See? All right, and you even have the amount of roughness you could put to the dirt, so it makes it even more rough. Right? So let's put a little bit of roughness into it, and then let's use a mix shader node so we can mix the two shaders together, and we'd use the ambient occlusion map that we made as the mask for this dirt. Right? So I'm gonna mix shader node. Right, so now here we go. So I'm gonna put our first shader up here. Let's plug it in. Okay, let's put it on the bottom. Right, so all we're seeing is this first one. I'm gonna plug in the dirt in the second one, and then I'm gonna use this ambient occlusion thing that we have here to mix between the two. Okay, it seems like I need to do some adjustment here. Here we go. See, the dirt is coming. Or you can even do it like this. You know, you can play with what works for you. I like it coming up from the bottom. Okay, so now your only thing would be to see like where you know, like what color you want certain things to be, so things pop out, right? So right now this looks a little subdued, and this looks kind of, I don't know. Let's put this as pure black and see what happens. See? There's like pure black on there. Pull it up a little bit. Let's make it a little more dusty gray. That'll be like sand, or it could be like snow, right? Also, a good thing to do is like also have like direction. There's like a normal direction thing that you could use also to affect the change. I wonder if I, and you know, experimenting also is a good thing also. So let's see here. We leave this pure white. Oh, it looked like it fell into some chalk or like a vat of cocaine or something. Like flour. It's like a stone. It's a stone and flour. Let's get a little bit. Oh, it's snow. Snow fell on it. Snow covered. We go on the other side. Let's say snow fell on it. This is how you do it. You just adjust this. Okay, put a little more in there. Like so. Okay, so we got this. We got some kind of white dirt thing happening on it. So I'm gonna check out this normal thing here. So vector, normal. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how this works, guys, so I'm gonna try it out. Yeah, this kind of works almost how I thought it would. Yep, this controls the normal and wow, isn't that something, huh? I could hear my CPU going. Yeah, this kind of controls the direction of where this is happening. I'm liking this a whole lot. Oh, and that's the distance. Tune that down a bit. Local only. Wow. Oh my, oh my. We're getting some pretty decent results. I am loving this. Let's put one back. If we put... Wow. Good stuff, guys. Very cool. Yeah, so let's change this to a specific color, and we'll call that a tutorial instead of me screwing around with it. Yeah, let's do like a little bit of that. Or it could be like gold coming up today, and you can literally put gold in this if you want. Yeah, let's do gold. In order to do that, we'll just have to change what this is here. Let's say some gold is running through this, and let me make this a little bit harder. And you can even run this through like a noise filter to get some like kind of crackling going on. But yeah, let's make that gold. So I'll show you how to do it that way. Let's do it the gold way. So instead of using that flat shader, I'm gonna use a shiny shader, like so, right? And let's shine it all the way up. Let's go all the way metallic. Let's turn the specularity up. Let's turn the roughness down. Wow, right there. You get flakes of gold in there. Let's turn the roughness of this a little bit so we can see something. Specularity. Keep that up. Let's come here, base color. There we go. That's our gold, guys. And gold has a specific color to it, but yeah, gold flakes and flaking rock there. Let's see here. Something like that. Let's put some more gold up in that joint. Wow, it's all gold. And from the time I have the chance to do something to add some gold and some things here, I actually did it. Let's see here. Okay, so the sun size, if you turn up the sun size, it gives you more of a blurred shadow. And let's the sun rotation is fine. Let's just lower the angle just a little bit so you get a little bit of a long shadow. Yeah, and there you go, guys. You know, we got a rock. You know, what will also set this rock off is if we make the actual rock color a little bit darker, so the gold pops up a little bit more. There we go. So we have a lovely rock with some gold going through it, you know, and I think that concludes the tutorial. I think that concludes the tutorial, guys, and I just turned the roughness down to, you know, to brighten up the flakes on that. Turn the metalness down on this. And let's turn the spec down on that a bit. There we go. There we go, guys. All right, this was cool, right? Am I going to use this? I think no, but it's very cool to be able to find something like this in here and just add it, you know, add it in. So, all right, so I'm gonna take a little bit break and I'll be right back, guys. That concludes the tutorial how to make solid gold, not solid gold, how to make a rock with minerals through it in Blender. This part one. You know, we could of course you know, run it through. Let's see here. What will happen if we take, and this is where I talk about, like, you know, going to experiment. What if we take this noise texture that we use for the normal, for the bump map, right? That gives it some characteristics there. Let's copy that. As a matter of fact, we could plug that into the gold part. Let's get rid of this. Let's plug that into the gold part here. All right, this is where sometimes shader nodes get complex. So take this same bump thing, plug it in normal just to see. Look at that. Even better, it hugs on to the rock. Doesn't look as floaty, right? Look at, oh, ooh. There we go. And let's take the same guy here. Let's copy him. And let's go up to here. What if we mix what we're getting from here and we mix this thing here into a nice hard shader? Would we get something unique? I don't know. Let's see. So if I take this guy just as is, just so, the factor, and I plug the factor into here, right? The factor is doing something affecting the whole thing. Right, so if I select, let's come back here. Factor, color ramp. Select that, go back. Get rid of that. Plug that into there. Alright. We start to get a little something. There's a gold rock. Right, but I want to mix these two, right? So we're gonna see if we could do that. So I'm gonna A, and go mix node, mix color. We want this to be B. We're gonna plug this in the final output just to see what we get. Right? I'm gonna leave that empty. I'm gonna plug this in here. Alright, that's that. Alright, so this is all this. That ambient occlusion. Alright. I'm gonna plug this color ramp in here. What kind of mix are we gonna do? Let's do let's go multiply. And we want to make this full black. Make this full white. Let's plug these things back. Plug this in here. I'm gonna plug this into the factor. Okay. I'm gonna see what it looks like without that. Generally the same. So I'm thinking that this has an effect on it. I'm gonna go linear. It's gonna make it a lot harder. Which is what I wanted to do to begin with, to get it. Yeah, to get it really hard. Yeah, because that's how you would see it. There we go. Okay, so that kind of fixes that. Look, before we didn't have it that hard. Can I go black in this? Okay, yep. That's what I thought. If we unplug that. Yep, so it's definitely working. Yep, it's limiting it and it's doing like its hard thing. Alright guys, so yeah, so that's it. You know, this has been the xsinick show. And I'm going to be right back to continue working on some more rocks that I have here. But this is what we got so far. This is where we, you know, we've been working on many different things. And I just showed you guys how to do rocks. And we even had some fun by adding some gold to it. So that concludes this tutorial. Make a rock with gold in it in Blender. Oh, okay, we'll be right back, guys. Hold on to your seats. BRB. Okay, guys, I'm busy Bazak. No, I'm xsinick. How's it going, guys? Okay, so we're gonna continue working on some of the stuff here, and thanks for hanging out and chilling with me. For this for this session here. These late afternoon sessions. I think tomorrow we'll be back. I think mostly Monday and Friday is the 1 o'clock shows in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm having the 4 o'clock ones in every other day. And then of course, Saturday for a stream where I just hang out with you guys. That's at 10 o'clock or so. So yeah, let's get back into blendering. Yeah, so this was the let's get rid of that message. Yeah, so this was the end of it. Oh, where's xsinick? She's disappeared. Better bring her back, or else then I'll be in trouble. Anyways, guys, so yeah, so that's that for for this tutorial here, and let's move into my actual putting together some rocks for the scene that we're working on here. Okay. Okie dokie. So you see, like, sometimes you start simple and then all of a sudden you have this complex tree of nodes to make this material, to make materials work wherever you are. All right, so very cool. It reminds me of a show I watched with these guys who hunt for precious gems, and there's one where these guys, I forgot the name of it. It's not Filthy Riches, it's some other one, like Gem Hunters or something like that. And the guy was like in Iceland, and they were like on some kind of remote island where they had a lot of rocks. Oh man, that would be so cool to make. And then they were looking for rubies, and he just like looked over to the side of like one cliff of rocks, and he saw a bunch of rubies on the side, and he's like, rubies! And I was like, man, can you imagine watching something? You imagine like looking for something and then you found like a bunch of rubies, and it man, that stuff will be probably pretty crazy. I just want to say shout out to all everybody there, who's in my Discord and everything like that. Everybody's pretty cool there. Those guys are really talented. A lot of those guys make music. Some of those guys are just they just hang out with me and stuff like that, and some people are really talented artists. Hey, okay, so I'm gonna open back up that level file. So it was results. Yeah, so you see but my shader is much more complex. I did a whole bunch of stuff on there. So let's see what else we have in here. So we have these two guys here. Rocks high res. Let's open results. Oh yeah, we got some more guys to work. We got some more stuff to do here. These guys. Let's do one set. Actually, let's not do these because you already see me do these, that kind of thing. Let's take one of those high res rocks and let's get it game ready and put it into the game engine. Because we gotta test it out. We don't want to do a whole bunch and realize it's not working, right? Which one should we do? You want to do the big one? Let's do the big one. Then we'll know if it works. So the first thing that you gotta do is you gotta duplicate that, right? Because we want to make a low resolution model of this, and Blender is really good at doing that kind of stuff. I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna get rid of the material off of this one. We're gonna give this a new name. So we call it rock holders. Call it we'll give it a standardized name. L1 rocks. end of that. It's all good. Okay, we're just gonna hide these others for now. We got this one here. There's no material on it. We're gonna subdivide this right here. So, I mean, let's subdivide. We're gonna do the opposite of that. We're gonna decimate it. My bad. So we're going to decimate here in the add modifier. Screencasting zone here. Okay, and I'm going to decimate this guy down. We're going to go into a wireframe mode so we can see. Or what we could do, we could just view it like this. And let's just view the wireframe on top of it. You come in here. Oh, something up in here, and there's a wireframe. Let's do the wireframe like, oh, full wireframe, but the opacity we want it down a little bit. Okay. So I know off the bat, like Blender's so good, like we could go like 0.3 and it will do pretty good. So let's hit out a 0.3 decimate. So it's decimating. I'm looking at all the big features on the rock, like this part here, over here. And if you can see my mouse, you know, and looking at the silhouette, make sure those don't change when it decimates it. Maybe 0.3 was a bit much to start with. Oh, wow, maybe 0.3 was a bit much. Let's take a look here. Didn't expect it to be that much. But the thing about it is these operations are being done on just one CPU, which sucks. Let's see here. I don't even see the CPU being taxed at all. I'm watching these waves here. Normally, you know, one would jump right up if it's working on something. Oh, look, I just did it. Yeah, 0.3 did a pretty good job. I think it still needs more decimation than this. If we unhide the original one and this one, yeah, we could go a little bit more. So let's apply this. See. Okay, let's apply another decimate onto it. Do 0.5 this time. Not bad, but I think we could do better. Let's go 0.1. Oh yeah, now we're getting somewhere. But we want this to be barely nothing, right? Apply this. Now let's view it with the original. Oh yeah, I think this could somewhat work. Let's hide the original. Let's do one more little thing to it. Let's go here, decimate again. Go 0.5 again, see what that gives us. Not too much, let's go another 0.1. Ooh, look at that. Technically, that's probably what we want, you know, to litter the entire thing. Let's just unhide the. Alright, and once you do the decimation, another thing you can do is to come here and go normal, go shrink wrap, and you can select the high resolution model. Shrink wrap it too. Alright, we shrink, and we could hide this. Let's see what it looks like. Shrink wrap, not shrink wrap, shrink wrap, not shrink. Yeah, shrink wrap brings it closer. Okay, so you want it on surface. Go inside, go outside. Keep it on the outside. Yeah, I think this low decimation is what we want. We don't want anything crazy because we're gonna have tons of these. Right? And if we was to do it by hand, you know, it would be crazy optimized. Alright, so for auto thing, this is fine for now. Let's convert all this, merge all this down, let's unhide the thing, right? So you see, it wraps it, right? But we're gonna have to do a lot of what do you call it? You know, a lot of mapping to get this stuff to work properly. So let's come hide that. Let's just look at some of these points here that kind of screwed up a little bit, like this one. Let's get rid of that. Anything that's screwed up, we could try to remedy a little bit. Alright, anything that has like a dark pit in there. Something like so. There's not too much of that. And of course, the under part here could be nearly nothing. Alright, we want this to look as simple as we can. Right, so I think this is fine. It's very approximate. Alright, so the next thing we gotta do is to UV unwrap this. There's many different ways you can do it. I think before I had good success just kind of you know, kind of running stuff along the base here. Just to kind of control the way that it cuts it. So I run a selection along the base. I'm holding control and doing a select, so it kind of runs. So it kind of selects the shortest path to the thing that I'm selecting. And then what I do here, go E, and you go mark. And the ideal thing when you're doing these rocks, according to the size of them, you could do a whole bunch of these rocks on one texture. And that's probably the ideal thing. You do like probably like 3 or like probably like 6 in a texture or 3 in a texture, kind of something like that. Like so, I'm going to mark this seam, right? And this is how it's going to cut it. Right, you can allow it to do its own thing, but let's just see what will happen. Maybe it's doing its own thing is probably the better way. So here we are in the UV editing. So I'm gonna go U, unwrap, and I'm just gonna wrap it based upon like how I did that. And then everything is like this here, and I'm gonna come here and go UV. Let's go minimize stretch. Just gonna minimize the amount of stretching. Tuning that up. What does blend do? It blends between the two. No, I don't want the blending. Let's go iteration of 20. It's fine. Let's pack this. Let's UV pack this. Pack using the Pack Master, which is a plugin you could always get. Let's pack it. Pizzack it. Let's pump that up a bit. There we go. So that's fine for that rock. You know, if you're doing a bunch of different rocks, you'll do a bunch of different things. But this is good to snow, good to go. I'm just gonna undo that. Let's find a little dark areas here that we probably don't need. Alright. As you see things, just clean it up as you go. Alrighty, so we got that one here. And we're just gonna test, we're gonna use this as a test, right? So in my UV editing, I like to kind of split this up here like so. And put a down here, just put like the shading, the shader editor down here. Alright, we're gonna make a new material. Call this rocks. L1 rock. Call it 00 matte. Call this rock 01 matte. I'm gonna call this rock 01. 0 rock low. Alright, so this is rock 01 material. Right, then we're gonna come in here and we're gonna unhide. We're gonna show the high resolution things. I'm gonna turn all these other things off. Right, make sure this is on. Call this rock 1. Turn that on. Okay, so we see how this is right here, right? We did the shrink wrap. We got it as close to as we can there. All right, the ideal thing is to bake this in with the lighting of the other scene, but I think this should work. So we want to select the high res first. Upper rock high res. Yeah, like that. Ah, there we go. We want to go from here to this one. Right? This one to that one. For some reason, I don't know, it's not changing in here. It only changed when you selected it in there, that's weird. Anyways, we got it. We're gonna make a new material. And first of all, we're gonna, I wanna do, the thing that I wanna bake first would be the normal maps. Right, that's when you know when you get everything correct. So let's go here, we're gonna go new. Right, and I think this size is fine for this. Right, for that rock. It's just a singular rock. This size is more than adequate. And I'm going to go L1 rock underscore 01 norm for normal. We don't want any alphas in here, and that should take care of everything, so that's fine. Right, I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna make a new texture, image texture. We're gonna use that alpha that we just made, the normal map standing. Excuse me. Alright, so we got this under selected. Now we're going to come down here. In the render. Alright, and we got to make sure we're on cycles. Alright, let's check the viewport. I'm going in noise threshold. Let's do this to 16. You can keep the denoise. I'm going to use GPU compute. Let's go through here. So this is just sampling. This is important. Everything, you could keep everything as is. The defaults are pretty nice in Blender already. Alright, then we're going to go in the bake section, which is the most important section for what it is we want to do. Alright, I don't want combined, I just want to do the normal. Right, I want selected to active. Right, and here's where we need to see what's up. So the extrusion, I'm going to go extrusion of 0.3. Let's open the other Blender and see what we did. So I'm going to go come here. You just see the settings for that for this terrain that we were working on. Okay, so let's go into bake. Select 0.6. So 0.6 worked with no denoise. Save. And you know, I probably don't have everything set up, or maybe I do. Let's see here. Let's hide this rock here for a minute. Let's go into render right here. Let's see. This looks fine to me. Apparently we do have everything kind of set up more or less. Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna come back in here, turn that back on. And let's go from high res to low res. Yep, we got that going on. So all we have to do now is press bake and see what we get. You know, for the stalling, I'm gonna bring this over. But before we do that, I'm gonna look at the system. Into the auto detect. Put a fixed amount, and I'm gonna do 18. Okay, let's go. Zake. Let's see what we got. Oh, look at that. It did it. That looks fine to me. One way to find out, so just go and save this. Texture. Save this as a JPEG. You don't need anything fancy for this game. At least not right now, maybe later. You know. I'm just gonna hide the high res for a minute. And let's view this as that. And let's come here. Go vector. Normal map. plug the color into here, and we want non-color. And plug this here into the normal. And let's take a look. But look at that, guys. It actually captured the detail of the rock. See that? That's what we're dealing with. So I'm liking this. It's looking pretty good. I think this is definitely working. So we're just gonna leave that alone. And let's do the other maps. Alright, so we're gonna unhide this guy. I'm gonna select the high res again. I'm gonna then select the low res. Alright. We got something working. This is working. When things work, you gotta celebrate too, you know? Okay, so I'm gonna duplicate this right here. The next thing that we want, if I can remember, is roughness. I'm gonna make a new image. Before we do that, let's just copy this text here. Okay, then go to new. Instead of norm, we want rough. For roughness. Okay, we're going from there to there. I'm going to select roughness here. It's selected. And in here, we're going to choose roughness. Everything seems fine. Let's bake. Oh wow, we've made our roughness map pretty quick. I'm excited. So let's save this. Save as. Let's save it as a JPEG. Again, we don't need anything too fancy in here. Save that. I'm gonna take this and plug this into roughness. And the roughness, non-color. Let's come here, let's duplicate that again. I think the other one I want is this metalness or the specularity. So I'm going to make a new from here. I think we call this spec. Make a new one. And let's put it in here. Just weird. This is a spec. Let's come in here and we want shiny. That's what blenders. Anything shiny. Or glossy rather. It says glossiness. Okay, I think we're ready to rock and roll. Let's press bake. Yep, that's the gloss. This is all the glossiness right here. So we're gonna save this. This is essentially how I make all the models, or we're gonna make all the models and stuff. Yeah, that seems fine. Save. Take this and plug this into the metalness. Right, and the last one that we want to do is the color or the diffuse or the albedo, whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna come here, we're gonna go new, right, put that in there and I call it the diffuse color. Right, so that's right there. I'm going to select it here. Right, rock one diffuse. I'm going to come here. I'm going to choose diffuse. That's only going to give us all the color information from the high resolution model onto the low resolution one. So we press bake. And even with the last the tutorial that I showed earlier at the beginning of the stream, this is how, if you want to bake it onto a low resolution model, this is how you do it. So look at that. You see all the low res stuff being baked on there. I'm liking that. I'm seeing some. Is it doing lighting in here? I think it's doing the lighting. I don't understand why though. Influence. Do you want direct influence? It looked like it's totally doing lighting in here. Diffusion shouldn't do that. Anyways, we'll figure that out. So I'm gonna save this. Alright, so make sure everything is all set. Alright, so we got our set here, and then we're gonna plug that into the base color. Alright, so now let's hide the high res, and we're gonna preview it. Alright, this is what we got. Got our rock. Yeah, so this looked like it is what it should be. I'm digging it. Well, one way to find out is compared with the with what we got with the high resolution model. So let's turn the high resolution on and go back and select this here. Right. X, kind of move that from side to side. Right, and let's view it in cycles. Let's reboot it in cycles, because in the viewport it's not going to show the material of the high res one. That's a lot. Anyways, yeah, let's go in here. Show that. There we go. You see, to me, this looks good enough. You know, the normal map, sometimes you could bump that up some. Roughness may need to be adjusted. I just want to see where the roughness is happening on this. Yeah, it's happening there. It just needs to be adjusted. So let's do that with the roughness. I think I had to do that with the others. There wasn't enough contrast in the roughness. And you could test that out here. You could use like a levels. But let's just see it right here. Oh, I got a Gimp hooked up. Okay, so we got a roughness here. Let's I think I'm gonna image color levels, and right here in the black put it 100. Yeah, I think that's what did it. Let's see this back. Place. Okay. I don't think it liked that non-color thing I had it running through. Yeah, this is a real good debugging test here. So specular 0.3. If I put the metallicness back in here, just make sure we got a new roughness. Yeah, I think the new roughness is somewhat working. Yeah, so anyways guys, yeah, so this is how you do it. You know, this is the low res one right here, and this is the high res one. You can tell the difference. I mean, this has a little more resolution and that kind of thing. You know, this here is the more what do you call it? The one set up for ray tracing, and this one is set up for the game. So let's take this one that's set up for the game and put it in the game. You know, you can see it's missing, you know, like a few of the little nuances because of the resolution of the texture, right? But it's all good. So it's a little bit of a compromise you gotta take when you do these things, a little bit. Some newer techniques, you know, you don't have to compromise at all, which is fine too. So let's bring all these to 0, 0. When I say 0, 0, I mean like the 0 point in the scene. Let's grab all these. Let's go into layout. Let's turn off the wireframe off of this stuff. Okay, so we can do that. Just gonna grab Z, bring that up some, just a little bit of a thing there, and then bring all the points back. Let's select all and let's just do apply rotation scale to all that. Okay, so I think this is fine. This is what we're working with, guys. So if we hide the high res, we open the low res. That's what we're seeing. Ooh, that look really speckled. You know, no, this would be a good test to see if, you know, running it through the denoiser actually helps. I'm thinking maybe it does. Let's see, let's go back to shading. Let's do high res. Let's go, let's select the low res. Let's go UV editing. back to diffuse. Let's disconnect it. Go here, here. Let's turn on the denoise. And I'm gonna look at how these look like bits here. Let's turn the denoise on at 16. And let's re-render this part here. So we're gonna bake this over. Bake. Wow. So the denoiser does do something to the texture. For sure. Wonder why I'm getting shadows in here. Let's see here. I don't want the direct light influence. I don't want this one's pure color. That's the difference. Let's hit it. Bake. Wow. Guys, this is what we need. I gotta redo all my stuff. Okay, with the denoiser on there, yeah. So let's see, go back to here. Now let's save over and let's put back the color in here. So that's what was probably happening. Was probably getting contribution from things that shouldn't be getting contributions from. What I mean is like the light and all that. So let's come back here. Let's hide the high res. Let's turn on. Yeah, it still feels a little wonky. Or maybe even if I denoise the normal map. So I'm watching how this looks like that. And what we want to do the normal. Normal is fine, except that we did noising it. Take that. Oh, did it finish? Yeah, it did. Let's save this. Hey, you might as well do everybody else. So the noise does do a great deal of a good job, of a bang-up job. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. You could even do a normal pass on some of these things, which I think is pretty cool, but we're not going to do anything like that. You could essentially use the, what did I use for? You could use a roughness map kind of almost as a normal pass. Almost. Except that it needs to be inverted though. Anyways, as an ambient pass, I mean. You see, now it's catching what the light is supposed to be catching. Let's put this in the game engine, guys. I like when it added the little shading from the sun and all that. It gave it a little bit of character, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna leave it, and we're gonna bring it in. So select this guy, and I'm gonna save. I'm gonna export it, and we're gonna bring it into the game engine. Export as a GLTF. Normally I'll export like the entire rocks thing, but let's call this rock test, just in case. I'm gonna export it. Okay, and now let's open Godot, the Godot game engine. I like saying Godot. Go into levels, level 1. Okay, let's get our rock.
This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Okay, this is the rock, guys. Should technically have all the material in there. Take a look. Here we got a normal map in there. No emission. We got roughness in there. Metallic, tightness, kinda, and the albedo. What material? What is this? Where's this coming from? let's drop it in. Didn't I copy it? Copy. That cut. Copy. Level 1, paste. There we go. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, they say this works, guys. Don't look as pitted as the other things, but put it in there. Take that. We could generate a collision mesh. There you go. Nowadays, see that works out straight from Blender. Let's take a peek in the engine itself and run around and check it out. Yeah, parts that should be shiny, and parts that shouldn't be shiny, not shiny. Alright, let's go. Let's check it out, yo. So those blue lines you see where everything is, what they call the collision mesh. And there's our rock. Oh man, we gotta do everything over. There's not enough thing to crawl up that. Yeah, the cool thing about it is that we could use this rock or any asset that we make and scatter it all throughout. So I'm pretty happy with that part. You know, easily just by duplicating it. Control D. Yeah, something like that. You know, and I think there's a paintbrush tool in here where you could like put it as a brush and then paint it. Okay guys, so I'm gonna call that the end of a thing there. You know, we just made some more rocks and stuff like that. So you know, hopefully for the next stream, you know, I'll be able to move on to something else. And again, you know, I wanted to give a surprise, but nobody's in the chat right now, so I'm not able to give it out. It's not a big deal. It's just basically I was trying to give out some subscriptions to some of my regular viewers and that kind of thing. You know, we just figured out how we could do something like that. I think it's like a button, but we got to set up every other thing up. So yeah, so we'll see what's going on. I hope you enjoyed this stream. I hope it was relaxing for you as it was for me, and you know, continue to enjoy your time, you know, whatever time you got doing whatever it is you're doing, whether it be work or whether it be play. It's all good. God is good. See you guys in a little bit. This is xsinick signing out. Take it easy. Bye bye, and thanks for watching.